Hello, everyone. So I'm going to introduce my wonderful guest to you in a moment. You'll have to forgive me for all the countdowns and the videos. What I'm finding is it's working really well because it gives people a little bit more time just to acknowledge that there's a live. You know, sometimes with Facebook, it takes a little while, doesn't it? So it's like it just bides a bit of time. So welcome everybody who is coming today to be with us. I'm with the amazing V, and we met. Oh my goodness, it must have been more than a year ago now when we met. I think.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
it's about a year and a half.
Yeah. And we got talking and we found out that we were in a similar sort of field and we have the same kind of approach to the mind and the body, you know, and it's just, it's one of those times when you connect with someone and you think, yeah, I get what you're saying. And we connected there and we've kind of kept in touch a little bit through Facebook since then. And then I recently found out that V also has a passion in drama as well, and I thought amazing because I personally love drama, but I've never been that confident to do it. I've tried things here and there, like I did a monologue once on stage in Dubai, and that was to like get over my nerves and learn how to project as a trainer and this kind of thing. And it was one of the scariest things I ever did, but it got me into wanting to do little bits of acting here and there. So it's fun. It's about letting go of your inhibitions, isn't it? Tell us a bit about your passion for drama and why that links into today.
So my passion goes way back. It's so I've been part of amateur dramatics since I was 5. And before I actually moved into coaching and public speaking, I was a head of drama and performing arts at a high school for about 12 years.
Wow.
So in all that time, obviously, I've done lots and lots of talking to people. I've put on lots of shows. And I suppose that's how I approach my public speaking as well, because when I mentor for public speaking or I'm doing public speaking, I'm very sort of performance orientated. So I'm always thinking about my body language, facial expressions, and how to bring confidence out of there. So it's kind of come from there really, and then it's just been a nice progression.
That is amazing. 12 years as a drama teacher. So
I
wow, you know, we've got all these like other bits to our lives, you know, that I find comes like full circle eventually. You know, you like follow your passion, it's part of your passion, and now it's coming into your business as well, which is just beautiful.
I know it's taken a while to work out how to marry the two, but I think lockdown has actually really helped me realize that I I don't think I'll ever fully let go of the performing arts. So I've also been working with a lot of actors as well, who, especially new actors who are quite worried about going into auditions.
Yeah.
So with the mindset and the positive mindset work, it really has linked in really well. So it's been a really good different. It's been a different route to be able to take. So I'm glad that I've been able to marry the two finally.
I love that. And a lot of people in this group, we're always talking about, you know, our passions, our hobbies, things that we've always wanted to do, or even change of career. So not only is that inspiring in terms of change of career and mixing things together, but if anyone watching has ever wanted to do anything like that, then, you know, it is on a limiting beliefs. You know, you can actually have a go at anything. And that kind of coaching is perfect. So how does that all tie into today and what we're doing today?
So we're looking at power poses today, and we're looking at high power poses. So high power poses really help with confidence. It's a bit of a life hack. So are you ready for me to start talking about it? Because I need to babble first before we actually go into this.
Babble away.
I need to give a bit of background on what power poses actually are to help everybody understand what we're actually doing and why we're doing it, because I think it's always important to understand why we're actually doing something. And then I have 3 power poses to show you guys, and if you want to, you can join in. and have a little taster on 3 high power poses, and I'm going to give you a little tip on how to find your own as well.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So what I'll do then is I'm just going to hand over to you and I will come back at the end. I might just show you my power pose as we're doing it. I might just pop on and surprise you with my power pose. I'll see how we go. But I'll definitely be back on the end to close the session. So I will hand over now. So I'm just going to remove myself here and I will see you in a bit.
All right. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for having me on as well. Right, it is just me now, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm going to start with what power poses actually are, because you want to be able to know what it is that you're actually doing, don't you? I'm just going to sort this out a little bit more. So I moved it landscape, so it's a little bit odd now. Yeah, okay. So power poses, the best way to describe what they actually are in absolute simple terms, I think people say layman terms, is that right? Simple terms is that they are basically like a photograph. So if you think about a photograph, an absolute still image, and then if you think about a photograph that goes into live, you know, that button on your phone that does live, and you can just sort of start to move yourself a little bit and then it goes back into freeze. It's that sort of thing. So it can either be an absolute frozen picture, or it can be something that you can move a little bit, but it's always non-verbal. And it's important to be non-verbal because all the power is coming from the expression in your body language and the way that you express yourself and the way that you will have big bold movements. So and anything that you think of, because phrases are allowed, they need to be in your head, because everything needs to come from within. And I know that Nick is very much about working in to out, and that's exactly what this is as well. So you're working from your inner self to your outer self and being able to show that physically. And also power poses are everything that we have in terms of those power words. So they are supposed to make you feel big, powerful, happy. They're supposed to be expressive and make you feel strong. That's the whole point of them. So I'm going to move on to quickly telling you what we can learn about power poses, and then I've got 3 for you to try out. So what can we learn? What we can learn is they are designed to help us feel good quickly, especially if we are a nervous person, and many of us are now coming, obviously we're out of lockdown, we're starting to go a little bit more into the outside world, and power poses are a really good way to just kind of give you that little bit of motivation to just kickstart your confidence levels and just move you forward a little bit more. They are supposed to be frozen and held for up to from 10 seconds all the way to 2 minutes. So you can choose. It has been proven that as long as you hold it for 10 seconds, it will work. And I'll explain what I mean by it will work. And then if you hold it for up to 2 minutes, the chance of all the good hormones in your body become more increased. So that basically shows us the bigger, the bolder the movement, the better it is for our cortisol levels. So let me explain what that means. So a TEDx speaker, before 2000, there was no evidence on power poses that I have researched, and also that it's a known fact. Before the year 2000, there was no research done on power poses and whether they work. So people were like, oh, it's a controversial thing, it doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. It does work, and I'm going to explain to you an amazing study that was done, and it was done by somebody called Amy Cuddy. I'm not sure if you're aware of her. Just in case you're not, she's a TEDx speaker, and she also conducted an experiment on power poses. And what she actually did and what she actually found was she took 2 groups of people. One group was told to do lots and lots of high power poses all day for up to 2 minutes. And the second group were told to do lots of low power poses. Now, what I mean by low power poses is the sort of thing that would make you feel like a lower status within yourself. So hunched shoulders, kind of cross body, looking down a lot, that sort of thing. And the others were obviously told to do lots of high posture movements. And once they'd done that and they'd spent some time doing that, they asked them a question. And the question was, would you take this dice and roll it to gamble this money? and the results were outstanding. And there were also some psychological findings as well. So I'm going to go through them briefly, but I do have to look at my notes for this bit because I'm not very good at remembering numbers. I'm all right at remembering lines and things like that, but not very good at numbers. So what they found was the high power pose group, 86% of them said, yes, I would take the risk to roll this dice and gamble this money. The low power pose group, only 60% of them said no. So straight away, that's some sort of indication that it helps it, that high power poses will help you become a little bit more confident in being able to weigh up the risks and taking a chance and stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit more. They also found out the psychological differences in saliva samples. So they took saliva samples before and after the pose experiment. And what they found was the high power pose group, 8% more increase in testosterone levels. The low power pose group, 10% decrease in the hormone, 10% decrease in testosterone. So 8% up, 10% down. It gets a bit more weirder. So here's another psychological fact for you. What they also found was the high power group, 25% decrease in cortisol levels. 25%, that's a big amount, that's a quarter. So dramatically decreased by 25%. Low power pose group, 15% increase in stress levels. Isn't that absolutely incredible? That is such an incredible piece of work. It wasn't, I think I said it was done over 24 hours, but it wasn't done over 24 hours, but they were told to do it daily for 2 minutes for a certain amount of time. And that's basically what they found. So that's obviously another indication to say the bigger and expressive your movement's going to be in this workshop, the more we may lower our cortisol levels, and it will contribute to us feeling a little bit happier by the end of the night. So how do you find the right power pose for you? So there's 2 ways that I always talk about, because they're 2 completely different ways, but you can find your power pose in these 2 ways. So the first one is, I want you guys to think of your most fun triumph moment. So when I go into primary schools and I do this, when I go into primary schools, sometimes the kids will say, oh, like when I score a goal in football and things like that. And it's that sort of moment. It's that moment. When I've done this with mums, I've done it in mindfulness class before. When I do this with mums, a lot of mums say something like, when they finish their, it sounds so typical, but honestly, these are the answers I get. When they've finished their laundry, or they've actually managed to do something that they wanted to get around to doing, but they haven't managed to. And it's such an amazing triumphal moment. So think of those moments. Think of your one fun triumphal moment that you have had that makes you feel really powerful or confident or happy or a sense of achievement. So think of that. And then the second way you can also find the right power pose for you is to think of the opposite, your most fearful struggle. So the reason why I ask people to think of their most fearful struggle as well is because what we can do is then we can anchor our thoughts to an outcome. When you anchor your thought to an outcome, you are more likely to think of the achievement of what you can achieve at the end. So for example, when I was a full-time head of drama and performing arts, I remember when I first started teaching, and there was this really challenging group. I was in quite a rough school. There was a really, really challenging group, and I used to like almost dread them, but I knew I couldn't give up on them. I just couldn't. So I used to go into my studio and just hide, shut the door and just hide, and literally do like star jumps, just get myself energized and just feel like, yes, I can do this. I've got the energy for this. I can do this. You can do this, B. And I would literally think of those sort of comments and make big, bold movements. And it would just give me that fire just to inject myself through to be able to cope with what was going to happen next. So it's those 2 things. Think of your most triumphal moment or your most fearful struggle, and then think of a pose to adopt when you feel like the good outcome can happen. So the boys in the football, their moments are usually like this, or, you know, like that. So whatever your moment is, think of a power pose that can go with you. And what I want you to do is to really adopt that pose when you actually do that chore, or you do that you do that situation that you're thinking about in your head. Adopt it and think, yes, I do it on the treadmill. When I'm on the treadmill, my treadmill go-to pose, once I've like really worked on my mindset and I've hit another milestone or I've run another mile, I always go like this. And I always think, oh my God, the CCTV cameras can probably see me going, woo, running while I'm doing this. But that's what I do. That's my thing. That's what I do. So it's a really good little moment that is for you to just inject a feeling of strong, bold, confident. So are we ready to have a go at 3 power poses? So these are 3 high power poses I'd like to introduce you to. They're not massively hard to do. They can be done on a chair if you feel like that's easier for you, but I'm going to probably show you standing up, and then you can adopt that to sitting down. I'll talk you through everything. So first of all, I think a warm-up would be really good to be able to do, but it's not going to be, don't worry, again, it's not going to be high big stretches or anything like that. I do love stretching, but I won't do that with you right now. I'll just do a really, really simple one just to get us kind of going, getting the blood rushing through our body, oxygen levels moving, and just making us feel like we're ready for a little bit more activity. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand here. Oh, do you know what? Hang on, let me just lift this up. I'm just going to stand. Can you see me if I stand back like that? Right, so we're going to do something called rubber chicken, but I'm not going to make you do the rubber chicken thing. We're going to say I am powerful. I normally get younger ones to say rubber chicken, but when I'm working with adults, I get them to say I am powerful. So what I want you to do, first of all, is I just want you to copy the movement that I do. So all that's involved is your hands shaking like this. You almost sort of look like a rubber chicken. And then your legs shaking as well. So you can just tap the floor, or you can shake the floor, whatever you like to do. And I'm just going to count, and then you're just going to follow what I do. If you want to count as well, you can do. We're going to go 8, 6, 4, and 2. It'll make sense. Okay, are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you see you look a bit like a rubber chicken? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then down, and then what I want you to say is, I am powerful. Oh, I love the way, the 2 girls next door are watching me through the window. I'm just going to have to wave at them. Okay, so do we feel a little bit more active, and are we ready to try these 3 power poses? Good. Okay, so the first one I'm going to introduce you guys to is called the superhero. Sometimes it's called the Wonder Woman. It's the same sort of pose. And what I'd like you to think about when I'm doing this with you is take the bits that resonate with you. I'm going to show you the whole thing, but if you think it's better done in a slightly more different way to adapt to you and your lifestyle, please go and do that. It's all about what works for you and which one feels right for you, and how you do it will feel right for you. So the superhero. Okay, so neutral position. So what I mean by neutral position in this sense is feet in line with your hips in line with your shoulders, and then you are facing forwards and your arms are by your side. So that's a neutral position. It's a bit of an awkward pose because really we do sort of hand shower backs and things like that. But just for now, that's your neutral position. So you're not giving much information away at the moment. And then you tighten your fists and you put them on your hips. So straight away, you're kind of doing an open pose. You're not closed off at all. You lift your chin up a little bit, and you're going to hold it for 10 seconds. And when I say go, in your head, I want you to say to yourself, I am strong. Okay, so are we in this position? Hands, hips, feet in neutral position, chin up, hold for 10. And in your heads, say, I am strong. And if you feel like you need to do it again, just push your chest back a bit more, kind of get that alpha going, and just do it one more time if that's how you feel. I am strong. In your heads, just say it to yourself. Okay, so that is the superhero, aka Wonder Woman, whatever you want to call it. That's the superhero. So we're going to move on to the star. The star is a little bit, it's sort of the same sort of thing. You're still in a neutral position, but this time your feet are over your hips. So you're sort of making this, can't really see, can you? You're sort of making this bigger, wider shape. Bigger, wider shape. And once you've made that shape, you just go over your shoulders, so a bit further. And then your arms, they can either go up like this, or they can go across like this, whichever one feels a bit more comfortable for you. And the reason why I say that is because Tony Robbins does lots of priming. So I don't know if you've heard of priming. It's something he does in the morning as part of his morning routine. And his priming is all the way up. So he goes up like this. Like we're doing the star. So as is a little bit further like that. You try and make yourself a symmetrical shape. You can do this if you want, it's up to you. But the whole purpose is to be as big, bold, and expressive as possible. So the bigger, the better. So I'm just trying to move like, I don't know how to. Okay, so hold that for me. And then what I want you to do is to put your head up a little bit. So you are literally as big and tall as you can be. And you hold that for 10 seconds. And you say in your head, after 10, I am happy. We look up at the ceiling. I was going to say sky, but we're indoors. And breathe in for 10. No, don't breathe in for 10. I mean, breathe in and out, but for 10 seconds, hold your position. And off you go, 10. And now say your phrase in your head, I am happy. And bring your arms back down. Just give them a little bit of a shake. I think we should do that one again because we did the superhero again. We did the superhero twice. So we'll do that one again as well, just so you're fully sure that you've got it. So feet over the line of your shoulders, nice and wide. Body as tall as you can be. Chin up as much as possible. Arms up here or there. And breathe in, hold for 10. I am happy. And put your arms down. Okay, amazing. So that, well done, guys. So that is the star. So we've had the superhero, we've had the star. Can you see expressive bold movements? In fact, you can go from that to that. That'll be 20 seconds. So you would have done 20 seconds contributing to your 2 minutes if you wanted to do the full 2 minutes. And then your last one that we're going to do is called the cool dude, because you're all cool dudes. So we're going to do a cool dude. So this can be done on the chair or it can be done standing up. It's absolutely up to you. I might show you this one on the chair actually, but it's the same principle. So it's up to you. So you can do this one on the chair if you want to, because obviously I haven't done one yet on the chair. So on the chair, what I want you to do is to just have your body equally distributed, so you're not leaning over to one side or the other. So just try and keep a counterbalance. Feet firmly placed on the ground, on the carpet, on the laminate, whatever you have. Feet firmly placed, so nice and flat, and make a perfect right angle if you can, obviously depending on the height of your chair. So you just basically, what I'm trying to say is just stay in that neutral position, but this is the equivalent of sitting down. And then once you've done that, you just need to place your hands on your laps. In fact, Nick's doing it perfect. So her hands are just there, shoulders look lovely, nicely balanced. And then you look straight ahead for this one. You don't look up. So you look straight ahead and you're almost looking as far as you can see. Especially if you did this in a field or something, it would just be, you'd just be so close to nature. You just look as far as you can see to your furthest tree. So it's a beautiful moment if you ever do manage to get out into a field and do this. So you just look as far as you can, and then your hands, they're open as possible, and they come together like this, so they're also as open as possible. And then you just press it on the back of your head, so you're making this big movement again where your chest is open. You look straight ahead, and then you hold it for 10, and then in your head I want you to say I am cool after 10 seconds. So a big smile, or just a smile that doesn't make you look too goofy if you're embarrassed, but nobody can see you, so don't worry. So big smile and hold for 10. And then I am cool. Okay, arms down. So that one always makes people feel a little bit smirky, because it's kind of like just nobody really calls themselves cool. Everybody always calls everybody else cool. And when you turn it around and flip it on yourself, it kind of can make you giggle, but that's okay, because it's proven that smiling will send messages to your brain. Even if you're angry and you start smiling, it will naturally send messages to your brain to say I'm smiling, and that pattern that we associate with what smiling is will obviously contribute to happy moments. So don't worry if that's a little bit of a one that's out of your comfort zone. It's good to practice with. So we'll do that one again as well. So feet spread out, nice and comfortable. Okay, in neutral position, don't tilt yourself too much. And hands like this in a big open position. Back of your head, look straight ahead, almost like you're leaning back, but your chest is nice and big. And hold, smile to yourself. And you say, I am cool. Okay, and release. So that is 3 power poses. I hope that you've enjoyed that. I just want to say I just want to also say, just to conclude, is if you have a power pose that you can use these in different ways. So you can have your perfect power pose based on your triumph or your fearful struggle. And then you can also have one of these 3 that you can introduce in your life whenever you feel is right. Or you can always just mash up the 3 together and create your own way of doing your power poses. So when Tony Robbins does his priming, he does it in a very certain way, and he'll do this one, and then he'll do that one, which is he'll do his arms up, and then he'll do his arms across, and he does it in the same way all the time, and his breathing is in the same way. So he brings different ones together to create a pattern. So as you keep doing these, you will start to create your own pattern. So it's very flexible. It's not, you don't have to do it the way that I told you to do it, but I just thought I'd introduce you to those 3. So thanks guys for listening. Back to Nick.
Oh, wow. I really enjoyed that. So many things to say. Oh my goodness. Like, so for example, we do this one as a yoga move, but now I'm thinking, oh, I can incorporate some. I like to bring a little bit of hypno and NLP into yoga. And, you know, we do a bit of a cat cow, seated cat cow. And I love that kind of open movement. And now having that extra, yeah, it made me laugh because sometimes we can get a bit uptight, can't we? You know, we can get a bit uncool actually, and we can get a bit naggy. We know we can be. And that made me laugh because I thought this is a really nice one to kind of bring myself back to a little bit of chill if I'm finding that I'm being a bit like, you know, maybe it's a certain time of the month or whatever. But that's quite a nice, like, just saying that with the affirmations, loved it. And what else was I thinking then? Yes, so sometimes in yoga, we do like we get to a standing position, and then we imagine what it feels like to slouch, and then we go back to standing. So this makes so much sense, and I'm now thinking, great, actually, to bring this into more of a routine on a daily basis. Never really thought of doing that with these like affirmations and power gestures. So I'm going to enjoy exploring. The one that came to my mind, by the way, that the happy one was when I win like a board game or something, because I can be really competitive.
Oh,
and it was like,
that's a good one.
Yeah, in my head.
When you just said, it just hit me then when you said that you do the slouch and the relax and the relax and back to the straighter posture. When you do the superhero move with the tight fists, you could always do the feeling of tight, back to release, tight, back to release. So you could incorporate that as well.
Yes, we could do that. It's amazing, isn't it? It's just it's all connected, and whatever platform is chosen to get that feeling across works. And that's what I love about sharing different people and what different people do, because it's about finding that vibe, isn't it? The person that resonates with you, the type of platform that resonates with you. So that's why I want to say again to people that are watching, if you like that kind of thing, if you want to do a little bit more with, like, I talk a lot about public speaking, but the way that you're talking about public speaking, very, looking at the drama side of things and the therapy and the projection, I can completely vouch for that, for some of the things that I did in the past that I can't teach people to do, but I know that you can. So it's another kind of way to get your confidence, whether it's public speaking or just in social environments.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. We could talk about the same things, but there will be a certain amount of people that resonate with the way you say it, and then a certain amount of people that get the way that I work. So it is always good to come together and just regroup. So I completely get that.
I love it. Well, there's all sorts of bits we can do in the future of helping people together on that kind of thing, and we'll speak offline about that another time. But I just want to say thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. I hope everyone else did. If you're watching this on replay because you're just too hot and you've just like gone to soak yourself in a cold bath or whichever, because we're really hot now. Then do message us, do drop us a line, and one of us will answer. And V's also going to just share her group and everything on the page so that you can see what she's up to in there. And I'll let you go. I'll let you go cool down and get out of that hot room. And I will just end this here. And I will see everyone later. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.